Hi, I'm Bybreen and welcome back to another episode of Soul Stirring Astrology, where I give you my textured take on the world of astrology. Well, in a few days' time, on June the 24th, there's a new moon that takes place in Cancer. But before I get into all of that, I'd like your kind of views really, because I'm thinking of hosting a mini astrological retreat. Could be 2 to 3 days. It may be in the UK or it could be in Europe, but I'm not actually fixed on the location at the moment. What's most important is to have a sense of how many of you would actually be interested in joining me for this astrological retreat, where I'll be teaching you how to read more deeply into your charts and to create a new narrative for you to step boldly and confidently into your lives. If you are interested, put your comments in the comment box below, say yes, or if you've got any other alternatives, I would love to hear about it. Also, if you have a network of people in your home country that you may not be able to come to a retreat, but you've got a network of people that you would love me to come along to deliver the retreat in your hometown, equally put your comments in the comment box below. And thirdly, I'm interested in connecting with decision makers or people who have the ear of decision makers, because I'd love to bring astrology into the workplace, particularly around helping you to harmonize your team dynamics, as well as looking at potential products and services by using astrology. So if any of that resonates with you, get in touch either by putting comments in the comment box below or by emailing me at bybreensamuels@googlemail.com, but I'll put my full email address in the comment box above. Anyway, so that's that in terms of announcements and future plans, and let's now turn to this new moon that's taking place in Cancer. Now it's a very profound new moon because it forms a stellium, and what I mean by that is where you have 3 or more planets in the same sign in the same house. So here we have the Sun and the Moon, obviously, giving it the new moon. We also have Mercury and Mars. So we've got 4 of the personal planets, 4 out of 5 of the personal planets in one house and sign. But we also have 2 other planets, namely Neptune, which is retrograding in his own sign of Pisces, and Chiron in Pisces. So we've got 6 planets in water, which is very significant, and 4 of those, as I said, form this stellium, which then means it's the moon that rules the whole chart for this new moon, because it's in Cancer and the moon rules Cancer. So what is this indicating to us? It's an indication that you cannot escape the transformational change that the stellium is demanding of you. Because the planets fall in the first house, and that's the house of self-identification. It's about your persona, your identity, so you can't escape it. And the fact that the planets have all come back round into the first house is a deep invitation for you to really be exploring elements of your personality, your identity, constructing a new identity. So there's a call for change. Now, if we think about Cancer, Cancer is symbolized by the crab. The crab has a hard shell. And so with this new moon, what you're finding is that you're retreating back into yourself to explore Cancerian and lunar qualities and aspects of life. Now, if you think about the shell, it's a carapace. It's something that's grown to protect these very sensitive feelings that you have. And so therefore it places a boundary between yourself and other people. However, we've got Neptune, which is retrograding in Pisces, and Neptune here is about eroding barriers and boundaries. And it's also an indication to help you look at where are your internal boundaries. And now with this new moon and with Neptune, it's time for you to dissolve these boundaries. A way to help you do this is to explore some of the lunar themes. So we're looking at nurturing, we're looking at early childhood. And what you can do is start revisiting these early childhood patterns to see how they are potentially blocking your self-expression, or if they are enhancing you in any particular way, how you can then move forward once this new moon cycle has finished. This new moon is also supported by a grand fire trine, and that's represented by Saturn, Uranus and the North Node. So when you've got a grand fire trine, this is about enthusiasm, about passion, intuition, taking risks in life, you know, having confidence, growing into who you are, and really looking at the horizon and thinking about your future plans and how you can situate yourself within them and have the faith to follow them through. And the reason being is because we've got the North Node, and the North Node, she's in Leo. So it's about, you know, step out onto the center stage, you know, create this life that you want. And then you've got Uranus, and Uranus is in Aries, and Aries is a cardinal sign. And Uranus wants you to create this new life in a really innovative, inventive and unique way. That's also supported by Saturn, and Saturn is in Sagittarius, and this is where you should have the faith and the confidence to go for what you really want, because Saturn now is coming to the end of its cycle in Sagittarius. It moves into its own sign in December. So this is around a really strong foundation, leading this new life based on the values you have cultivated, and it's about your ability to trust those values. So we've got water, represented by this Cancer, and then we have this fire dynamic. So on one level, you could think, oh, well, the water is going to extinguish the fire. But actually, the fire, using the Saturnian energy, grounds your vision, grounds your faith, so you can actually step confidently into the world. Turning back to this water element, so water clearly is free-flowing, and water requires a container in order to spark this energy. And one of the ways that you can do this is if you start paying attention and connecting with groups, your groups and your social networks, but paying attention to the inner life of groups. Because through paying attention to the inner life of groups, it's a way for you to activate your nurturing qualities, your caring qualities, to bring out the empathy that you have, which is shown by this stellium within Cancer. But by doing so, it prevents you from being overwhelmed by the feelings that you could have of irrationality or fears or sensitivities. So by finding a channel through which you can express your Cancerian qualities is going to be a great thing for you. But it's also a time whereby you could be exploring new discoveries, particularly with the mind and emotions. If we think about Helen Keller, so she was very innovative in coming up with new ideas and possibilities in terms of communication and assisting those who are blind and deaf. And her writings are infused with images around breaking the shackles. Now that correlates very closely with this new moon in Cancer, because Cancer, the crab, has this carapace, it's got this hard shell, but in order to break free of it, you've got to go into the inner workings of your mind and your emotions, and to bring about a level of stability within the mind and the emotions, and then you can take that out into your networks, which is equally represented because Jupiter is now moving forward in Libra, and here it's representing groups. So with all of this sensitivity going on, the balance is about breaking the shell of numbness. Sometimes life numbs us, we protect our emotions, but now is the time for you to really bring about a sense of your own self-expression. And so therefore, you know, go out into the world, experience and explore and feel the vicissitudes of life. And in doing so, don't lose the ability to be empathetic, to be loving and to be trustful, because the planetary alignments are supporting you to do this. And one indication is that actually you can trust life and you can let life in controlled ways. And so, you know, as you incrementally move forward, you're letting more life in, and then you're integrating the experiences that you have, because with the new moon is a time for introspection, and it's also an ability for you to apply your own level of psychoanalysis or theory or therapy or counselling in a way that you are nourishing and you are nurturing your inner child but also the adult that may or may not have been nourished in a way that truly fits with this new identity that is emerging. Alongside all of this, we have this beautiful connection with Venus trining Pluto, and then we have Venus sextiling Neptune. And so with the Venus-Pluto, we have a sense of a deep, profound love that you have for somebody, because Pluto is about going under the surface. And it's a trine, so it's going to be deeply felt, deeply profound. That's also being reflected by Venus sextiling Neptune. And here, this is about a soul mate, a soul union, a soul signature with somebody who you have deep feelings for. But it's also about the application of applying it to your own life. You know, where and what can you do to bring about an internal soul union? An internal, you know, connecting your internal soul mate. And so by doing so, you're bringing so much love, peace and harmony into your life, bringing that to the external world. It could be about how you're reveling in the beauty of what life has to offer. It could be about being quite prophetic in your thoughts and your feelings and your expressions, and you're turning all of that towards a creative endeavour. So with all of these qualities, they help to mitigate this opposition that's going on between Mars and Pluto, because Mars forms part of this stellium in the first house of Cancer, and it's opposing Pluto. And Pluto is represented in the 7th house, and it's in Capricorn. And so here there's a sort of a tug of war going on. You know, you've got this strong desire to change, but there may be some level of resistance coming from other people. It could be your business relationships, your social relationships, or people in power. And so the more you pay attention to cultivating this new identity that the stellium demands, it's a way whereby you're able to assert from an emotionally solid foundation to take on the challenges that you may face coming from the outer world, and being able to transform it from a ruthless interaction to a far more soothing interaction. So that's it in terms of this new moon in Cancer. It takes place in a few days' time on the 24th of June. Today is June the 21st. It's the summer solstice. So it's about going out into the world, shining your light, pulling on that grand fire trine, standing confidently, embracing life and allowing it to embrace you. So that brings me to the quote of the day, and it's by Andy Warhol. And what he said is that, you know, invariably they say that time always changes things, but actually it's down to you to go out there and change them for yourself. And the question of the day is, which aspect of your personality, character, or way of life needs to change? As always, beautiful people, put your comments, queries, answers in the comment box below. I love connecting with you, love building up our dialogue. Let's continue building this friendship circle. Feel free to share this episode with anybody in your network who you feel could benefit from it, and please like and subscribe to my channel. So until then, enjoy the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. Enjoy this new moon. It's a wonderful invitation for you to deeply connect with yourself, and as I said, I'm offering up this mini retreat, or if you have people who would be interested in me delivering astrology, please get in touch. And so until then, have a fantastic time until I see you next time. Bye.